Good evening, everybody. Administration Public Works Committee. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion?
I move we approve the minutes. Second for last meeting.
Are they okay with everybody? Any changes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye of approving.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, City of Evanston payroll through September 22, $2,730,806.44.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Evanston bills, I know we got an email today. Could we just take 1 minute? Could we have a motion to
Motion
approve?
to approve the City of Evanston bills for fiscal year 2013 through 10/15/2013,
And how about credit card?
and the credit card activity through August 31st, 2013.
Second.
All right, let's take a moment to take a look. Okay, anybody who thinks our police department isn't doing a fabulous job just needs to read the answers to the bills lists. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The interesting one for me was the Washington National TIF expenditure of $12,000 to move the World of Beer signage when I don't think any of our facade improvement funds would ever exceed $12,000 for any one business. And just for perspective on this for me.
They have exceeded $12,000.
Oh, yes, right.
I know of a $40,000 one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
but
the point
just
being,
point being, this is facade improvement, and it came through an agreement and through the TIF, and it made Fountain Square better, but
it made the fountain better and the memorial better. So, no, I think it's money well spent. Yes. All right, anything else? Yes.
Just for the 8th Ward, Alderman, we are looking at the response on the, I'm sorry, not the 8th Ward, Alderman, the 2nd and 5th. We are looking at the PIN numbers for the refund payment on that. So we will see who got refunds. When we get a distribution notice from the county like this, it is lump sum.
Right. We all asked about that, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving and recommending to the council the bills list amount and the credit card amount expenditures?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Madam Chair, I move A3, approval of purchase of street light units from LCAS Lighting for the 2013 Safer Neighborhood Area Project, also known as SNAP.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Yes, Alderman Braithwaite. Can you?
I was just trying to get an idea, Ms. Holman, along what pathways are they doing? There wasn't a map or anything, so are these like the main lights or the small little neighborhood lights that you're replacing?
These are
The small ones.
These are the Talmadge lights,
Okay.
and we don't have an exact location for them. We know we're going to purchase 147. We will be contacting you in the next several months, and then we'll decide on exactly which light poles. We're going to change the lights.
Okay, that's wonderful news. Thank you.
That you answered my question about the locations. I met with some people the other day who, it never would have occurred to me, needed better lighting, but they have Talmadge fixtures, and so they're in the area, and so we can put in requests, is that what you're
Well, we
saying?
have recommendations for you, and we will be contacting you.
I saw that the police department made recommendations, but nobody sent me any information about recommendations.
We haven't sent you the recommendations, but we
Will you,
have them,
please?
and we will
Yeah.
share them with you in the next few weeks.
Okay, because I guess since we haven't purchased them yet, you might not
That's
have
right,
wanted
that's
to
right.
do
We
that.
wanted to
But
complete.
we're all way ahead of
Well,
that.
as you-
We've already got the money spent.
I was going to say, as you drive around the city and just to see how dark it is at night all over the city, it's amazing.
Just a warning that we need to ask people where we're going to put these, how they feel about receiving increased wattage, because believe it or not, there are people in our community who don't want more lighting.
Absolutely.
I'm just telling you.
Oh, no, I'm very much.
No, I know you know that, but Homayun is new, and he might not believe that that could possibly be
I
the
believe you.
case.
But I think we should tell him when we know, like, certain areas
Yeah.
where people have not said okay.
Right. Right.
You know,
I
but
agree.
in the meantime,
Yes.
you could get hurt when you're walking in those areas.
Absolutely. Alderman Grover.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Peruz, what's the timing on this? When do you expect the lights will be installed?
If we put an order tomorrow, it will take probably about a couple of months before we have the actual light bulbs, and then right after that, we can start installing them.
An installation of 147 would take, how long,
asked
within a
Tom.
month?
Probably into 2014. Tom Twig from Traffic Operations.
Hello, Mr. Twig.
About several months to do it. We're going to use the city forces, city crews to do the installation, so amongst our other workload, we'll try to get it done, but it would probably last us through mid-2014 before we get all the areas taken care of, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion regarding the SNAP lighting purchase? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving right along. Next, Alderman Grover.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a grant agreement with Youth Organizations Umbrella, YOU, to provide subcontract services for our outreach program.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Most of us on this committee are in the CD committee, so we've already discussed this. All right, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of recommending to the council, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, next.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the free holiday parking in the city's three downtown South Park garages and Lot 60 located at 1234 Chicago Avenue.
Okay.
And this would be beginning Thursday, November 28th through Saturday, January 4th in 2014. It says 13 here, but I'm sure it's 14.
Excellent.
Second.
Second. Any discussion of this? Is this, the parking garage 60, or lot 60, that's across from Union Pizza? Is that the one?
Yes, ma'am.
And, okay, that's what just north of Dempster. Okay. All righty, any discussion of this? All right, let's let everybody in the world know about this so they come and shop. All those in favor of recommending the free holiday parking to the council, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, Alderman Braithwaite.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item A6, ordinance 78-013 regarding commercial signs on sidewalks. Staff recommends city council adoption of ordinance 78-0-13, amending the city council section 7-2-6E, commercial signs on sidewalks, and this is for an introduction.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Did this come up because of a specific case?
That's correct. We had one case about a few months ago where there was this car wash who needed to have the sign near an alley which was leading to the back of the car wash and needed to direct their customers. And so the sign, having the sign in front of the business wasn't helpful to them. And since each business can apply for one permit, we felt it's just fair to let them have the sign at a location that would benefit them best. It should be a fine thing to do.
Right, okay, just curious how it came about. All right, thank you. Any discussion? Is this the car wash dumpster? The dumpster?
Yes,
Yeah, that's a little confusing,
it is. How you get in?
especially if you're trying to go in one way and
Yeah,
then
and you should
can't
go
do
all the
that.
way around and come
Right.
up there. It's amazing.
Good move. All those in favor of recommending the sidewalk signage to the council, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next.
Move approval of A7, ordinance 92-0-13, amending the city code to increase the fines for snow emergency parking violations. Fines for snow emergency parking violations will increase from $40 to $55 to match those of a snow route parking ban, and the snow relocation fine will increase from $105 to $150.
Second.
Okay. All right. Anybody, any discussion on this one? No? Okay. All right. Oh, yes, Alderman Burris.
Yes, I'm opposed to this, and I will be voting no.
Is there a specific piece of it you're opposed to, or each increase?
I think the increases are too much.
Do you have an amendment?
No, we've discussed this last time, and I think that we're gouging people too much on this relocation fine. I'm not sure that what we're trying to do is to get people to comply. I don't believe that changing the amount is going to actually make them comply with doing this. And until we have a very good system for people in our community who are seniors and for the people with disabilities, it concerns me a bit that we're adding these fines to people that are least able to afford it. I think our residents would move the cars. They're not deliberately leaving them where they are. So we need to have a better system, and I just don't want to penalize people more.
Alderman Braithwaite.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would agree, I'm not into penalizing our residents more than need be, but I think there was a reason for this the last time around, and I don't know if we have someone from staff here that can speak to this, where the increase was to cover our costs, and I think you also went through the notification process. Can you just refresh my memory, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chairman, members of the committee, Jim Mayworm, Assistant Director of Public Works, Operations and Maintenance. Yeah, the point was to cover our costs, not to penalize people. And quite honestly, and I believe it spells it out in the memo, we're still, in theory, subsidizing some of those costs through taxpayers' dollars because we're not really covering the entire cost of the towing operation. And we do make every effort because it's a great inconvenience for us to be towing vehicles during snow emergencies as well. And we will continue to use every available technology, Twitter, text messaging, anything we possibly can to get people to comply. And I know during the last snow emergency, the city manager had, suggested to me that we might even open the public garages for, other opportunities for people to park to be able to move their cars. So, but I understand, I heard your concerns, and we'll see what we can do about improving communication to disabled and our elderly folks as well.
Alderman Rainey, can I just follow up on the parking garage piece and opening up other areas? We need to get that information out, and we need to do it immediately, not just when there's a huge snowstorm, but any time that we have to get vehicles off the street. Many people don't have driveways or garages to put the vehicles. Then their street is completely filled on one side. They're trying to find a place to park. We have people with kids. They're, trying to get back into, down the street to their home. So I just think we need to think about how to be more responsive to our residents to help them out here. And I understand understand that you're thinking about that. We just need to maybe think about it a little harder. Thanks.
Okay.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, and I thought we talked about the possibility of areas where there are schools, maybe those parking lots could be used, or,
Been talking about that for years.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that, and I know that people didn't think we use the sirens, but we do, and we certainly, the people come around in the cars with that megaphone thing telling you to please move your car, just like they do on days when it's time to clean the streets. So I'm not sure how much, I mean, I just don't know. I think the staff is thinking, and I think we can think, and maybe citizens could send suggestions if they have other suggestions, that would help do it. Yeah.
There
I
are
don't think there's
chronic-
I don't think there's a lot of good answers.
Answers, yeah.
I agree with you. It's,
One of the problems I think we've always had with compliance is the lack of consistency. People look out, there's a huge snow, we don't do what we say we're going to do, then the next time there's a huge snow, we do. And so I think the consistency is a big problem. Then I think there are chronic abusers who are the big problem, like on Alderman Burris's street. I cannot imagine
Point at me.
how your street gets plowed. I mean, it's just, there's barely passage for one car when there are people parked in your street. So I mean,
I
in
agree.
that case, we need to be able to plow.
Maybe
So-
one of the things we can do is continue to reinforce that the snow emergency signs, regardless of whether we do it or not, I mean, they're to be enforced. I mean, that's
Hard.
you just know it, just like it's street cleaning day. I get calls all the time, well, they didn't come down my street. Yeah, but you still know to move your car because it's street cleaning day.
But see, I have a problem with the opposite of that. I think that we ought to be religious in not ticketing people who, after the plow goes down the street, they move their car back onto the plowed street. We ticket those people if it's before the end of the time period when we're plowing. We should not ticket them because they're actually giving up a space that somebody who's going to get plowed later can move into. So I just think we ought to never, ever ticket anybody. And I've seen it happen. I've seen the parking enforcement go down the street ticketing those people. Just saying.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, again, I think what we're trying to do here is alleviate the complaints we hear from residents, and we do a lot of notifications. I think the Twitter and the text, Mr. Mayworm, has really helped a lot, and if the council would rather hold these changes in abeyance through yet another winter and see if that voluntary compliance works. I agree with Alderman Rainey regarding the ticketing once the street's been plowed, and I think we're making better strides at that. Again, the overall snow removal, parking management under Mr. Mayrum and Mr. Voss has greatly improved than it has been over the last several years. And again, the reason we were here is because at the end of last winter, we still heard from people and heard from some of you that we still weren't doing enough, and this was an option. And as I think, have had 2 discussion items about this prior to this evening, we felt that this was the direction you were comfortable with. But if you'd rather us continue what we have been doing another winter, come back to you with a report in the spring and see if these additional measures are still necessary, we'd be happy to do that. We don't want to penalize people in any way, but at the same time, there are residents who cannot get down streets because they're not properly plowed because cars remain.
And there, I think what's happened in the last 2 weeks are some second thoughts and,
So, Madam Chair, if you'd wish to just keep this in committee, we'd be happy to come back to you at the end of the winter. We'll continue to monitor this. Again, we would encourage people to take advantage of the various notification mechanisms that we have. Thousands have. So we obviously, we're hopefully doing something right in that regard. But our challenge and frustration is, even with all that, we still get very loud complaints from people that their streets are not passable.
probably 80, 85% of everybody complies. So, I mean, we're reaching we're reaching everybody, so to speak.
But as you mentioned, Alderman Rainey, there are some streets in Evanston that is not good enough, just given the narrowness and the location and that's been one of our struggles.
Do we make it known that lots such as Levy Center can be used from like 7 at night? Because there's no baseball games going on. 7 at night to 7 in the morning?
Under Mr. Mayworm's leadership, we've done that now with snow emergencies. So we don't do it with snow or parking bans, but we do it when there is a snow emergency, which I think we had one this last winter. This started with the blizzard a few years back. I think that was the first time we reached out to District 65, District 202. I think had a lot of success, but that was a pretty extraordinary circumstance. So
They agreed to let us park there, people park?
in very short order. Well, obviously, we opened up our own, but
Yeah.
both Superintendent Murphy and Superintendent Witherspoon were very responsive very quickly during the blizzard. So we'll continue to make that available to folks in a snow emergency. We can continue that publicity. I think Alderman Burris's points are very well taken regarding, saying those things now, so when a snow emergency does occur, people are already thinking about it, not at that particular moment. So if the committee would just prefer, I think this next item also, Mr. Mayworm, is related. If you wish to just hold that as well.
Well, I feel differently about sidewalks.
Okay, very good.
I feel differently.
All part of the
Two separate
package
things.
that we've been working on.
Two separate things. Alderman Grover, then Alderman Holmes.
Remind me, do we do the text and email notices for snow emergencies the way we do for the street sweeping?
You have to sign up.
We did. Once you sign up, though, you can get the notice.
It's a separate tick, so you have to sign up specifically for, I think we've got both an emergency and the snow route.
And the
parking
snow
ban.
route ban as well?
Alderman Holmes.
Well, I think we should move ahead because the gist of this is that we're still trying to cover our costs. And I think that, we look at it and see what happens in a year. We don't have that many. I just think that we have to do something to cover the cost.
I think if people comply, the costs are less because we're not
Well,
paying
then
for
it won't, but the fees won't go in force unless they don't comply. So why don't we try it and see what happens? So I think
We're
we
going to
should
take
move
a
ahead.
vote on this.
Yeah,
We're gonna
okay.
take- Did you raise, did you have your hand? Did you want to say something? All right,
Been moved and
it's been moved and seconded. The motion is to recommend approval to the council. We're going to have a roll call vote starting with Alderman Burris. Alderman Burris?
No.
Alderman Grover? Alderman Holmes?
Aye.
Alderman Braithwaite? Aye. Alderman Rainey? Aye. We're going to really work hard to get this word out. And I think the whole notion of this isn't going to matter to you if you comply is very important.
Absolutely.
But, there's only so many miles of curb, and we've got to get places for people. Maybe even if we just organize the snow plowing differently. I don't know. Leave that to the experts. All right, so this is going to the council with a 4-1 vote. Okay, next. Who's next here? We have Alderman Grover.
I'll move ordinance 106013, amending Title VII of the City Code regarding the clearance of snow and ice from sidewalks and related matters.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion of this one? No. Could we make it really clear to people, and especially commercial, who are huge violators, very responsible businesses in this town, up until the first snowfall, refuse to shovel their snow. Number one, they say we don't own the building, it's the landlord's job. Number two, if we shovel our snow and somebody slips and falls, we'll get sued. Could we do something with the chamber and with the neighborhood business groups? Neighborhood business groups are key, to get this job done. All over you see these little narrow paths.
Job done as defined by just getting the word out.
Getting
that
the
they're
word out that you need
responsible.
to shovel your snow. And I don't
Absolutely.
think, I've heard lately from property standards, we have to cite them and then come back in 7 days. What? It'll be spring in 7 days. Do it then. If you don't shovel your snow, you get fined you know, at that moment.
And especially around the parking meters, because they will, you have to climb over hills, maybe to put money in a meter.
If you can
So,
do it,
if-
yeah.
If you can do it, so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Alderman Burris.
Again, I think this is an issue of, people that can get out and shovel their snow, that's great. We need to think about also what we do with our snow plows. We plow people back in their driveway, and we plow the driveway and the sidewalk after people have been out and shoveled. They've shoveled themselves out of a parking spot or their driveway. We are also, I think we need to work very hard on this volunteer program to make sure that our seniors and our people with disabilities are being attended to by this volunteer program or have neighbors that can help them. I just don't see how penalizing people that can actually be out there and shovel their walk, I get that. But we have a large senior population. We know that people are in need and can't get out there to move their car or shovel their walk. And so we need to think about that when we talk about social services and we talk about helping people. This is part of that as well.
Well, I think if a senior citizen gets a ticket for not shoveling, they need to call up and say, I'm a senior citizen, I couldn't shovel, and we'll give them some consideration. But, I don't think the big problem with our snow shoveling is our senior citizens. Most of them make arrangements to get them. And we do have a good volunteer corps who, I hear from people all the time, oh, that nice young man, he came and shoveled my walk again. I mean, so I don't want to hold this up because there are huge violators in this community who sit around, young people I'm familiar with, who just don't care enough to shovel their walk.
I'm not asking it to be held up. I'm just saying that we should think about people that are less fortunate than us in the city. And when we're doing these type of things, it's not about all the people that can afford to have someone come and shovel their snow or afford to have them shovel the driveway or have people that can move their cars or move them to a farther place. What about the people that are less fortunate than all of us sitting up here and all of us in the audience? Let's think about them.
Well, not that we never do, but
I wasn't making that accusation.
The point that should also be made for those people who live on streets, who have snow plows, who you see going from one end of the block to the other, shoveling everybody out, whether you need the help or not. I mean, those people
I
are
agree.
my heroes on my block, at least. Alderman
I was
Grover.
just going to say, there are plenty of households in Evanston with teenagers who have those strong backs and fresh legs who don't get out and shovel, and I'm volunteering my household as one of them. But I've found that staff is very responsive when I've made the call, and have sent actually crews of firefighters out to help dig out residents when, especially during the big blizzard a couple of years ago. So it's we've got the resource. It's just a matter of letting people know we have them and deploying them.
And I know that Audrey Thompson
Yes.
and the program with the seniors, the Commission on Aging, I know that they have a very good volunteer program that goes out and shovels walks for seniors. Now, I do know that. So that's one thing that happens. I think that, maybe if there are seniors that we know that haven't taken advantage, then we need to let them know that we do have some programs.
Do you want to say any more nice things, Alderman Burris?
No, it's not that I'm against what our staff are doing. I
know.
I just, care about folks that aren't here to speak for themselves.
And we should,
Hopefully, we all
but
do.
we're here to speak for them. We
And
all
I-
represent seniors. All right,
I'm
let's
just a
move
vote.
on.
I'm a no vote. It's not a big deal.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll get those sidewalks shoveled. Don't worry. All right, all those in favor of recommending ordinance 106-013 for introduction to the council, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Alderman Burris, make a note, is opposed.
Okay, Madam Chair, I would move ordinance 110-0-13, amending the city code to restrict parking on Austin Street from Elmwood Avenue to Sherman Avenue.
Now, just so you know, everybody, this isn't going to inconvenience anybody because St. Francis Hospital has free parking and there's plenty of parking, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Okay. All those in favor of recommending this for introduction, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. A10.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move ordinance 108-0-13, creating a liquor license classification M. Local Liquor Commission recommends adoption of ordinance 108-0-13, which will create a new M liquor license classification to take effect on January 1st, 2014. In Grape Company, the prospective license indicated that the business would receive orders for wine and then provide delivery of wine to the customers at home. This is for introduction.
Did I hear a second? Second. Okay, Alderman Grover seconded. We have several people here, Kevin Ball and Robert Weber. I, for one, need an explanation. I have no clue how this works. And I've been in the liquor licensing business for years. I just can't quite figure it out. Hi.
My name's Robert Weber, Alderman, and this is Kevin Ball, who is the principal in Grape Company, and he can answer whatever questions you may have.
All right, just so you know, I have supported every liquor license in the world except for one, and I just don't understand. So tell us from beginning to end how this works.
Sure, absolutely. In Grape Company is a company that's going to offer two services and one product. The product being wine, and the services being wine consultations and in-home wine events. Both of those services which will happen in a consumer or in the client's home.
Where's the store?
The office space is...
Is there a store?
Well, it's an office space.
Well, where's the wine?
The wine will be at the office. It's at 828 Davis Street in the lower level. There's an office space which had met zoning classifications. And the goal is basically the business is like almost a floating retailer in the sense that instead of customers coming into this office space to purchase wine, like a regular wine shop, I will be in contact with the clients and shipping and delivering wine.
Are you like the Tupperware of wine?
Absolutely. And, you know, in a simplistic sort of way.
I was understanding it like that, but I didn't believe I was right.
In a very simplistic sort of way, yes. It's a business that caters to clientele that are tired of being confused as to which wine to purchase by label or price point. Most people go in and pick a label that's pretty, and they don't know anything about it. So it's an expert.
Or cheap.
Exactly. So the concept is that there's an expert who will then do the picking for them and ship the wine to
So
them.
it's sort of like wine parties, or is it just a couple or an individual who wants to buy some wine, you want a group at the home?
It can be either. It can be either. Yes. The two services.
Do they get to taste it in the house?
In home, after the wine has been purchased.
Well, why would you want to taste it after you bought it? I mean, don't you want to taste it before you buy it?
Shockingly, no. The majority of people who purchase wine, when you walk into a store, you don't get to taste it before you buy it. So the point is that they get to lean on my expertise and our company's expertise. The wine is then shipped, and then the tasting that happens afterwards is for mere entertainment. It's an
So you don't
entertainment
have the wine there. You just have lists of names of wine and things.
Correct. I've been in the industry for 13 years. I'm familiar with almost all of the distributors in the industry, and I know most of the wines as well. So what happens is when a wine order comes in, I'm ordering from the distributors. It hits my office. It's immediately shipped or delivered. So it's a quick in and out purchase and sell of goods.
So you go in with lists of wine, red, white, this country, that country, and you talk about it.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Well,
And
in essence, what people will be ordering is a consultation so that they can learn about their palate and the types of wines that they like, or a party where they can purchase some wine, and then at a later date, after it's purchased and shipped and delivered, we come in and have a fun event to taste the wines and to experience and have a professional be able to answer their questions on wine in general.
So people just say, I want this one, and this one, and it's all on paper.
Correct. What happens is when there's somebody who wants to host an event or a consultation, I go to do a consultation to determine the types of wines that they like or what they would like to see at their party or for their consult, and then I'm ordering the product and shipping it to them as well. Exactly.
Alderman Braithwaite.
So if you were delivering to a restaurant, the restaurant would have to have a liquor license in order for you to receive the liquor, right?
Correct.
But since,
The restaurant would need a liquor license in order to store and then sell the,
okay,
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
okay.
Because the house wouldn't have a liquor license. But do you sell to restaurants, or you're just
Correct.
private?
I am selling directly to the consumer, to, yep.
the sales, based on what I understand of the operation, will be made in the store. So that somebody, whether they were at a house and heard about the wine, they would then contact the store, or he would contact them from the store. And the sales would be made in the store. The wine would be shipped from the bottler to the store, and then he could ship it to
Deliver it, then he
deliver
delivers
it
it.
to the
Yeah.
house.
All right, that part I get. Okay, let me think. So you come to the party or the event, and we buy a bunch of wine. No transaction takes place.
Correct. Yeah. When we
I
host-
go online and make the.
Well, when we would host an event, if people liked the wine and they wanted to purchase, I would then take their name and number, contact them on another business day, and fulfill the wine order legally in my office. Exactly. There's no wine that's being brought to the parties for sale. The wine has already been purchased by the host and delivered to them before the event. Correct.
No,
There's two events.
I know,
I'm hearing it,
I
there's
know.
two events, one with the consultation where you
just
talk
don't
about it,
understand
and
I
then
mean,
the
I
second would be the party where you would
I
have
get
the
it
wine.
now I get it now how it works. I just don't get the concept.
And I'm just so glad I don't drink.
Yeah, it's
And
like
I do.
it's almost says
Thank you. Is there a website that I could go to, just for
the website is
giggles?
currently being built.
It's,
And-
of
yeah,
course
exactly.
it is. Of course it is.
Exactly.
All right. I'm done.
I think we have a business plan.
Yeah, I definitely have a business plan
Your sales to be in a year.
in the first year.
Yeah, on this business.
I would project between $80,000 and $100,000.
Okay.
Intentionally, it's going to be kept as a very small scale business for the first 2 or 3 years while a system is developed, and if there's an opportunity for growth, then we reevaluate. Exactly.
Did I read where there's, this concept is operating in California or someplace?
Correct. This business model is vastly taken off. Has vastly taken off on the West Coast. It's just another means for consumers to purchase wine in an educated way. And it's something that's missing in the Midwest significantly. I'm very excited about Evanston having an opportunity to have this type of business.
So if there were a wine that I'm interested in, I wouldn't call you, right?
You surely could.
But why would I if I knew I wanted it? Why wouldn't I just go to Sam's or to Wine Styles or
You could.
Wine Goddess or something?
There is a level of clientele that likes to be catered to. And
Well, that would be me.
yeah, so instead of you having to go out and purchase the product at the same competitive price, I would just be delivering or shipping the product to you. It's very
How much
hands-on.
more would it cost me?
It actually wouldn't cost hardly, I mean, the margins are almost the same as retail outlets because the way I'm purchasing the product is the same way the other retail avenues
Because
are purchasing.
you're purchasing it cheaper than I would get it.
Correct.
Look, if you want to do this,
Yeah.
didn't the mayor say she wanted updates or something? I mean, was that in this one? I don't know. I mean, that would be interesting to hear how this works.
You bet. Absolutely, I'd be happy to report how it's going. It's very exciting. It's a great step towards advancing customer service in the wine industry to people who want to be educated on wine and have no avenue of doing it. They go to the store because they like it, and they have no one to talk to them about it and explain and help build their confidence in their palate.
I cannot understand having an event where you come with the sheets listing the various wines without having any wine. I mean, it just
well, at the-
doesn't make sense. Having what?
But on call.
Well, just so you know,
Yeah, I mean, having her come over and not opening a bottle. I mean,
well, there would be bottles open, but the difference is the host has already purchased those bottles.
from you.
Correct. They're already at their home. So when I show up,
That's
yeah,
what
we
I
do the
thought.
talking and the schmoozing,
I
but we're
thought
still
it
going to
was.
pop the corks and let them taste. But that's the host who does that. Not
Okay, but if you're going to do that at a party,
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to do that, it would seem to me you would want to give the host some kind of big break in order
Absolutely.
to get a bunch of wines.
Absolutely.
Because the more wines she has and sells, or you sell, the better.
correct.
Okay, now we're getting down to a concept.
I told you, Mary Kay.
There was some, because the host.
I apologize
is-
for not explaining
At
it
all
properly.
these kinds of events, always get something to
Mm-hmm. You bet.
promote the product.
You bet.
All right.
You bet.
What's it going to be called?
In Grape Company.
In Grape Company, right. That's a very good name.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else, now that I understand? All right,
No
yeah,
samples?
Interesting.
I can work on that for you. I can work on that for you, Alderman. Absolutely.
Trust me, you want to give her.
Absolutely.
I think the first party is going to be at your house.
Hurry up.
Okay, all right, so it's been moved and seconded that we introduce the Class M liquor class license to the council for introduction, okay? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I move approval of A11. Staff recommends adoption of ordinance 111-0-13, which includes model codes that are nationally recognized building regulations designed for the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare.
Any comments? This is for introduction. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, item A12.
I move our agenda item A12, which is ordinance 114-013, our 2013 general obligation bond issue. This would be used to refund our 2004 and 05 GO bonds, and with an estimated debt service savings of between $2.5 to $3.75 million over the remaining life of these bonds, which I think takes us to 2025.
All right, any discussion? This is a good one. All those in favor of introducing this to the council, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next is your addendum, ladies and gentlemen. We have an addendum, ordinance 101-013. Alderman Holmes?
Decreasing the number of Class C liquor licenses due to the lapse in license for Pennsy, this restaurant, right? It's at 1566 Oak. Second. Is that,
That's, yeah, La Pens- that's in the
Margarita Inn.
Margarita Inn, right,
Okay.
right. I mean, I'm assuming this is a temporary lapse. Hope so. Anybody know? No? No? Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of introducing this, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is ordinance 104-013. Yep.
Madam Chair, ordinance 104-0-13, amending the City Code Title 3, Chapter 4 to permit nuance of a Class B liquor license to Coffee House Holdings, Inc., Starbucks, 1734 Sherman Avenue. The Liquor Commissioner recommends adoption of 104-0-13. This is for introduction.
This is another concept I'm not getting. Liquor at Starbucks. Well, I know.
We have questions?
Huh?
They're here if we have questions.
I read the items in the packet. I don't have any questions. I'm sure it's a great idea. All those in favor of recommending introduction, say aye. Any opposed? All right. We're finished.
Thank you. I move we adjourn.
Thank you. We did. We moved to adjourn.